Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillips filling in once again for Dr. Peter Glidden. And can you believe it's already Friday, September 19th? That summer just seemed to fly by, and we got a couple of weeks of snow here, thanks to, obviously, global warming. But now we're back to summer-like conditions. Well, summer as it gets around here anyways. But I tell you what, I love Alberta. I really do. I love that we're the Texas of Canada, and I don't know, it's just a great place. I really love Alberta. We had our meeting last night. I have a lot of really good friends in this community, making more all the time. You can get a hold of me here at 1-844-374-5433. Get a pen out, 1-844-374-5433. Now, what do we do here? We discuss ways of getting your health back. And Dr. Glidden, before I started doing this show, and even sometimes still, he's very, very specific. He tells me, do not say that we treat anything, because we don't. And you'll hear him saying that a lot when he's hosting the show the rest of the week. And the reason is we don't. I'm not a doctor. Okay, Dr. Glidden is. But these are really cookie-cutter, easy ways to get your health back. All the heavy lifting has been done for you. There's a few little tricks a person can use to get over certain issues here and there. But, when my life really changed was when I stopped trusting the medical system. I mean, they were kind of just there whenever I needed them. They never made things better. Sometimes it got worse. But when I really started taking things into my own hands and figuring it out for myself with the brain that God gave me, I was able to turn things around on my own. Now, here in Canada, we have a socialized healthcare system. There's all kinds of studies always being done. There's, we get these reports in the paper about different things going on. And throughout the week, I do a lot of reading. I'm a guy that wants to know how things work. Ever since I was a kid, I used to sit up in my room reading encyclopedias till 4 in the morning. I guess I was just hungry for information, because I see all these things going on around me, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. Now, what we want to do is get away from the big pharma medical model that's being pushed on every single one of us. They just want to throw drugs at everything. And if they can't throw a drug at it, they want to cut you open. They want to take things out. They want to rewire. Well, God made your body to heal itself. It just needs a few things. Now, speaking of throwing drugs at everything, listen to this. I found this story in Global News, and I'm going to go through this for the first segment. Walter in New Haven, Dora in California, Janet, Judith, Kat, all of you, hang on, because I'm going to get to your calls. But first of all, I want to make a point here. Okay, now listen to this headline. Reducing certain medications makes huge difference for some dementia patients. It sounds interesting. Changes are being made to how patients with dementia are being treated thanks to the success of a recent Alberta Health Services pilot project. The project saw the use of antipsychotic drugs including Zyprexa, Seroquel, Risperdal, and Haldol reduced at 11 long-term care facilities around the province. In St. Albert's Youville home, that meant going from having 66 residents on medication to just 5. Staff say the differences they've seen in the patients have been incredible. We're seeing that the residents are coming alive, said Covenant Health's Chris North. Imagine that. They're getting off this medication. Yvonne Verlind, 98, has dementia and makes repetitive noises. For that, she was on the antipsychotic medication Risperdal for years. Since being taken off the drug as part of the pilot project, her family has noticed major changes. For many years, she needed assistance at every meal when eating or drinking. A few months ago, I was surprised to see that she could eat and drink by herself, said her nephew, Marcel Normandie, who noticed other positive changes. On her 98th birthday, she proceeded to read her birthday cards and thank all the persons individually. Again, another surprise, he added tearfully. So this woman couldn't even eat on her own for years. She's 98. They took her off the antipsychotic. She's reading. She's interacting with family and friends. Dawn Gammon, a nurse practitioner at Uville, explains that antipsychotic drugs used to commonly be prescribed for behaviors related to dementia, such as aggression, anxiety, and sleep disorders. I think we thought antipsychotic medications treated dementia. They actually don't, she says. Yeah. According to previous studies, antipsychotic medications are only effective 20% of the time and increase the chances of a heart attack or a stroke, which if you're looking at a balance sheet, no, you know where I'm going. This is very serious medication, Gammon said. They can cause aspiration pneumonia because people aren't swallowing correctly. There's a big risk, and that's why it should be the last resort, not a first. The focus has since shifted from a medication approach to a personalized one. In some cases, small changes such as moving bath times or letting patients sleep in or have an afternoon nap have made a huge difference. We've had a number of residents who are now enjoying what they enjoyed before. So playing the piano, knitting, recognizing their loved ones, said North. It just changes people's worlds to look at them as individuals and not to look at a behavior as just a behavior, Gammon said. Now, another side effect of the project, antipsychotic drug costs at the Uville home have gone from $3,300 a month to $200 a month. Get off the drugs. Not joking. Get off the drugs. I constantly talk to people that are on 20 different prescriptions or 15 or whatever, and they started out with one. And it just compounded and piled up as they experienced bad effects from each one, and then another one was added to counter that, and another one was added to counter that. People, are we that dumb? Really, are we that stupid? Did a brain grow inside of your head? There's a new way, and it's not even really a new way, it's an old way, but it's far better. Now, Dr. Glidden is fond of saying, healing is not an event, it's a process. You're going to have to take your life in your hands and stop listening to people with a white coat and a clipboard. You wouldn't listen to somebody wearing a swastika. I mean, Dr. Glidden was just saying on the show, same reason. Death and destruction. Death and destruction. Now, I got another story here I want to go over. Saskatoon family warns of terrifying sepsis condition. And listen to how they spin this. A decade ago, Lanny Bulmer was diagnosed with sepsis. She says it destroyed her life, and the only thing that's kept her going is her two daughters. That's the reason why I get up and do things. The reason why I'm here, she explained, crying. She said every day is a painful struggle. Her whole body is wrecked, basically, explained Bulmer's mother, Helena Harder. She's unable to do her daily activities of living, unable to hardly go for a walk, drive a car, cook meals, or clean her house, said Harder. In 2004, Bulmer went in for a routine endometrial ablation, a surgical procedure in the uterus that aims to reduce menstrual flow. Now, I just want to say, I've known women that have had irregular periods and things like that, hormonal imbalances. When they got on the 90 essential minerals, vitamins, and amino and fatty acids, added in some HGH, up their cholesterol intake, it all balanced out. Without surgery, to the point where they were bearable to be around the whole month. So, after the procedure, she said she experienced severe pain and was told to go home and sleep it off. She said the next day the pain became debilitating, but again she was sent home. They said she came in pretending she was having pain so they would give her drugs, Harder explained. She said the experience was terrifying. I had them accuse my wife of that. Jennifer, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, youngest female chamber president in our history, driven, serious, intelligent person. They accused her of coming in and pretending she was in pain to get drugs. You know what? That was the best thing that could have ever happened because we didn't want those drugs anyways, and they wouldn't have helped. The next day, she went back by ambulance, basically dying, said Harder. Bulmer said early detection could have saved her from the life of pain she lives now. Not having that surgery and straightening things out before you went to the hospital would have saved you a lot, too. Sepsis begins when the body releases far more molecules than are needed to fight an infection. Eventually, they begin damaging vital organs. Symptoms include fever, high heart rate, difficulty breathing. A patient's blood pressure can then drop dramatically as septic shock sets in. It's preventable, and that's the thing we need to make sure we're aware of. Sounds like you already are. Canadian Institute for Health Information reports about 1 in 3 septic hospital patients die after their diagnosis. So here's this woman going to these people for something that she could have easily taken care of at home in the years preceding it, and it never needed to get to that point. I mean, no matter how uncomfortable she was before, I guarantee you she's a lot more uncomfortable now. This is Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. After this, we're going to get to your calls. Let's figure this out together. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Once again, Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden this Friday, September 19th. You can call the show at 1-844-374-5433. Or if you want to get your health back and you want to discuss it with somebody, but you don't want to do it on the radio, you can email me personally at mike@teamglidden.ca. mike@teamglidden.ca. We're going to go to the phone lines now. Walter's in New Haven, Connecticut. How you doing, Walter?
Good.
Excellent. So how's the weather out in Connecticut? Have you guys got the leaves starting to turn yellow yet?
Yes, they're just starting. It's winter is coming. It's the first chilly day we had.
You know what? There's nothing better than Connecticut, New York State, Maine in the fall. It's just beautiful up there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my situation, I'm 82 years old. I'm a Korean veteran.
Yep.
A year ago, February, I had open heart surgery and had 2 other procedures after that, one AFib, another one, some stents put in, and I was getting sicker and sicker. And about 3 months ago, I said, I gave up all the prescription drugs.
Good for you.
And I went longevity. I firmly believe in what you're doing, your philosophy. Now, the only problem that I've run into is that I had severe constipation. I had to go to the emergency room. And then I had 2 other issues of constipation, not as severe, and I was able to handle that. And then last night I had constipation really grip me again, and I drank half a gallon of prune juice and ate some prunes. And after a night of to the bathroom to the bed, I emptied myself and lost 4 pounds. Now, I went on the diet that Dr. Glidden suggested, eating a lot of eggs and protein. And right now I'm having dental issues, and so my salads and greens are actually blended. And like I said, the constipation is what concerns me. Now, what do I need to do to avoid constipation? Eating a lot of protein, and I was eating chicken and eggs and the blended salad. So that's essentially it.
Okay, so the first thing that I would do if I was in your situation, Dr. Glidden, there's a few things actually. The first one I'm going to go with here with constipation. the most easily digestible fiber that there is apples, okay? You can eat an apple or two a day. That can help a lot and go a long way to clearing up constipation, okay? So if you've tried that, there's a couple other things that you can do. And this is cheap, actually. Well, apples are cheap, too. But Epsom salts, okay? Epsom salts. Now, what you want to do is you want to find an Epsom salt. You can get a bag of it just about anywhere. You want to make sure it says magnesium sulfate USP, okay? Magnesium sulfate USP. Okay? So all you got to do is mix about 2 teaspoons of that in warm water and chug it down. Okay? Now it's going to taste horrible. All right? So you might want to chase that with something. But that magnesium will clean you right out. Okay? Now that's Epsom salts, 2 teaspoons in a glass of warm water, chug it down. That's what I would do. Make sure it's unscented, right?
Yes.
And make sure it says magnesium sulfate USP. That stands for United States Pharmacopoeia. Okay, now there's a third thing that a person can do. A large dose of vitamin C will trigger you to have a movement. Okay, that's why you can't eat, people that take a lot of vitamin C, they're probably really regular. I mean, vitamin C on its own there's a lot of cofactors that go along with it. So I always laugh when I talk to people that say they take vitamin C whenever they get a cold and expect it to go away. Walter, stick around. We're going to talk about this more. On the other side, Mike Phillip, filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. We're live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. You can get a hold of us here at 844-374-5433. Now, before the break, we were talking to Walter in New Haven, Connecticut, and Walter was a Korean War vet. He's had some health problems. He got on board with the things that he heard coming out of Dr. Wallach's mouth, because truth has a certain ring to it, and when you've been lied to forever and a day by the medical establishment, all of a sudden when you see the truth, it's like the light of day coming into the darkness. And Walter, you're a smart man. So before the break, we were talking about ways to get over constipation. And oftentimes I find that it's the opposite. People end up getting a little bit of diarrhea from taking so much supplements. But it does happen, definitely, that people get constipated. Now, we talked about apples being the easiest digestible fiber in the natural world. Not only that, apples are just great for you. Make sure that they're non-GMO. Clean them up real good, because you never know what kind of pesticides have been used on it. You can even blend it. I don't care. But after that, we talked a little bit about Epsom salts. And the great thing about Epsom salts is that they're cheap. You can get it just about anywhere. And I was explaining to Walter, make sure that you get a bag that says magnesium sulfate USP and that it's non-scented. A lot of Epsom salts out there are not for internal use. Maybe go to a something and just ask them for one that is. And also a large dose of vitamin C will sometimes kickstart things as well. How are we doing, Walter?
The other thing is that, like I said, I had open heart surgery.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like, longevity saved my life, because I would have died if it, staying on that drugs that VA gave me.
Right.
I can honestly say that. Now, the next thing is, I have AFib. They gave me, they made it regular, and I felt worse.
Yeah.
Then I went back to irregular, and I feel better.
No kidding.
I mean, and the other thing is that I'm having, some issues with the eyes with glaucoma. And I went to University of Bridgeport, and I got hair analysis and also blood work, which is not the same as the VA does, but it showed where I was deficient in certain minerals and also vitamins, and then I had an overage. I had too much of certain things. Now, what I'd like to do is you mentioned that could I send this to you and get your overall opinion? I mean, you mentioned Mike Phillips what was the email address?
Well, yeah, you could. You can get a hold of me at mike@teamglidden.ca. Here's the deal with let's go to your eyes here, okay?
Yes.
You were talking about glaucoma and a few other things. What are you
the only thing I was talking about is, glaucoma. I have 20/40, which is sort of, borderline.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not real bad, but it could be better. What are you taking for longevity products, Walter?
Quite a bit. I got started. In fact, I also want to lose weight. And where's my list of...
All right, let me just ask you this. Are you taking a Healthy Start pack, and are you taking the Ultimate Dailies?
I'm taking, actually, when I signed up, I bought the CEO pack.
Oh, wonderful.
$500, and I was taking all of that, and then I started with, the weight-reducing pack. I just got it in today a few minutes ago.
Okay. Have you had any weight loss already?
No, not really, no. No, I'm starting on that. I tried to do it on my own, but it didn't work.
Okay. Well, give it some time, right? And, if you want to get a hold of me, you can. Mike@teamglidden.ca is my email address. And I would just keep doing what I'm doing. And if anything, you might just need to up a dose of something here or there, which, that's what I would do. I can't diagnose anything, and I can't say, here's what you should do. I've got to keep it as neutral as I possibly can for the state legal reasons, right? So,
absolutely. I understand that.
Yeah, but, try that. Try those things I suggested for the constipation.
Yeah, that was a big issue.
Yeah, do that. And you said longevity, you figure it saved your life, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I was taking the prescription drugs, and I was feeling worse and worse. Yeah, and it took a lot of balls for me just to stop all of it, because they gave me Coumadin, they gave me Perdoxa. I checked Perdoxa on the internet. It killed over 1,000 people last year, made over 12,000 permanently ill. It has got more lawsuits against it than any other medication in the history. It's put out by the biggest German pharmaceutical company in Germany. I mean, this is insanity.
Yep, it is insanity, but it's a good thing that you did have the Huevos. Did you hear me in the first segment talking about how we need to use our God-given brain and figure things out?
What I did, I took IPEC, Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, and, that was the prime thing there, is to come from what answers from within. I mean, I had a lot of knowledge, but I wasn't utilizing it. You have to do it in small increments and have somebody to be accountable to. And
absolutely,
so this enabled me to make that shift from traditional pharmaceutical, medical to naturopathic to longevity. And like I said, I went to University of Bridgeport, and they verified that I was lacking in minerals and various supplements.
You said that they were saying that you had too much of certain things.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what standard they're going by, but in my experience, if longevity isn't working out for you,
Oh, it is.
And I know, but in my experience, it's if it isn't, it's because you're not taking enough or absorbing enough. One of those two things. So whatever standard they're going by, saying that you have too much, if things are going better for you, I wouldn't worry about that. I really wouldn't.
Well, that's what I did. I didn't worry about it. I just took, the essential 90 and glucose and and that was all the it's like there's about 15 items that I took. I don't. Here's the list. I mean, I was taking, before ultimate enzymes, EFA plus, ultimate EFA, selenium, glucose, ultra daily, root beer belly, BTT, OCOFX, and nightly essence. And I was told to take 4 selenium and 5 glucose gels. So, I got different advice, as I went along. This is, listening to, I think it was Peter Glidden, and so I have a lot of confidence in what you're doing. I think what you're doing is the truth. And
well, obviously you do, because you called in.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time either. So, but the thing I was really concerned about is constipation. I was eating a lot of apples, and then I sort of, went away from it, and I guess that's when the constipation started.
You know what? That happens to people all the time. That happens all the time, where somebody will get on top of something by doing something for a while, and then you start feeling good, and you forget to maintain that maintenance that you've been doing all along. I see it a lot of times with people that have mental problems. See, without longevity, I see a lot of people that are on medication for mental problems, and it seems to help them for a while. But what happens is they'll get feeling good, and they'll forget to take their medication, or they'll throw it away altogether, and they just go nuts because you can't go cold turkey off of it. Right? I mean, I'm not advocating pharmaceuticals, but I'm just making the comparison. You were eating apples for a while, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden, you get used to feeling good, so you think, I don't need that apple today. I'm kind of tired of apples anyways. And I've had the exact same thing happen to me, where I was taking the HGH every night before I went to sleep, and I was sleeping great through the night. And then things are working so good that you get complacent and you start thinking, I don't need that. I'm just going to bed.
Yeah, see, this is where professional coaching comes in. It's in other words, you have to do it in small increments, and you have to have somebody you're accountable to on a weekly basis, because, like I said, I had a lot of knowledge, but I wasn't utilizing it. And
yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, just like you told me about the apples.
Yeah.
I mean, I was feeling real good. I was, having apples and pears, or apples and something else I was putting in there. And, and I had no constipation. I stopped it, and I was getting other fruit, and all of a sudden I started getting constipation. I didn't connect the constipation and the apples, but you have done this for me.
All right, Walter, I'm glad I could help you out. We got a bunch of other calls on the line here, so I'm going to let you go, and keep in touch with the show, and if you want to get a hold of me, that'd be just fine, Walter.
Super. Thank you.
You bet. Well, take care, and we'll talk to you later. We're going to jump over to Dora in California. How you doing, Dora? We got a couple of minutes left here in this segment.
I hope I can answer my question. Lately, my left arm, my veins have been swelling up. Is that normal or something going on?
Well, are you well, let me ask you this. Are you nutritionalized? Are you taking 90 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids?
Yeah, I'm taking Dr. Wallach's vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long has this been happening?
Oh, it's going on 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Maybe a week and a half.
Right. That could sound like non-bacterial phlebitis or a couple of other things. It might only last a little while. There's no pain with it?
Well, once in a while it kind of tingles. But, someone told me that maybe a spider had bit me, and there was a little mark, and finally it went away after 3 or 4 days. But could that be the cause of it?
You know what? Let's talk about it on the other side of these commercials. I got to put you on hold, okay. Dora. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to talk about the case of the swollen veins in the left arm. Back after this. We're back live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on Friday, September 19th. And we were just talking to Dora before the break, and she's got swollen veins in the left arm. She was saying she got bit by a spider, and a friend of hers thinks that might be part of it, and she's a little bit worried. It's been about a week and a half, and she was just wondering if there's anything. Now, you were saying that you were taking some of Dr. Wallach's products already. What are you taking? Sorry, Dora, I had you on hold, and you were talking away there, and I didn't take you off. That was my mistake. Bad radio announcer. Okay, Dora, start over.
Okay.
What are you taking?
Ultimate Classic, Osteofix, Enzymes, Rainforest, the De-Stress twice a day. I called Dr. About 3 or 4 days ago, and the same arm, there was kind of tinkling, felt like somebody's crawling on my arm. And he told me to take EFAs, 9 a day.
So yesterday he told you that?
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But then since then I noticed my vein puffing up pretty bad, and it goes down to my hand, from the elbow down to my hand.
And this, how long have you been taking these products?
Oh, quite a while.
Quite a while. And this just started up?
Yeah,
okay.
Just started.
Okay,
when I lift my arm up, it goes away, but then the vein comes back up again.
Right. Okay, so, if it were me, I would keep an eye on that, and I would keep doing what Dr. Wallach told you, unless it continually gets worse over the next day or two.
Why does the vein puff up?
That could be any number of things. That could be an indication of a clot. It could be just, it could be a bacterial thing. It could be any number of things, right? So, first of all, go with Dr. Wallach's done far more than I ever have, okay? So I would go with what he says and just keep an eye on it. And
the vein wasn't as big when I called him, when he told me to take the EFAs. But then, So what can I do in the meantime?
In the meantime, well, if it were me, I would add plant-derived minerals to that. Is what I would do. Or if it's a bacterial thing, what you could do is get some colloidal silver and take colloidal silver. And because if it's bacterial, that'll knock it right out. That's what I would do. Is
it okay to take it anyway, the colloidal silver?
Oh, yeah. Colloidal silver is not going to hurt you in any way. It's not going to get in the way of anything. It can only do you good.
Okay, how much do I take, and dilute it with water, or?
Yeah, you can put it in water. You can take a teaspoon of it. You can drink it right out of the bottle.
How often?
Take about 3 tablespoons over the course of a day and see if there's any change. That's what I would do first of all.
3 tablespoons in the course of a day. What, just twice a day or so?
Yep.
Okay. And the minerals, just up the minerals?
2 ounces. Yeah, I would take 2 extra ounces of minerals and see where that goes.
So
go with that course of action, and I can't even pretend to guess because it could be so many things, and this is a 5-minute phone conversation, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some things are really obvious, and then other things can be a whole lot of different things. So
it's really nothing to worry about.
I wouldn't worry about it just yet. I would keep an eye on it, and if things don't change, and if it gets to the point where it's painful or getting worse, then I would start worrying about it, and then we can switch gears and try something else.
Oh.
All right, Dora?
All right, thanks.
Dora, I'm going to let you go. I hear the music, and that means we're at the end of this segment. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. And we got a hard break. We'll be back after the network news. Sit back and be prepared to be blown away by the second hour, because I'm positive it's going to be better than the first. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Glidden. We'll be back after this.